Lust is not sexual. Let me tell you a story. I was in the Army when I was 18. For 3 months, I was in OSIT, one station unit training, and I blew my legs out. I fractured everything from my knees down. I tore both my posterior tibial tendons. I was separated from the military because I wasn't able to maintain the standards of the PFT, the run test, and everything. And the major was telling me that I won't be able to recycle since my injury is so bad. And as I get home, this immense feeling of loss hits me so deeply. And the whole identity crisis happened. I come back and I turn 19, and not knowing who I am, what I'm supposed to do, I start working at Olive Garden, I start working at a car wash, and I'm like, I'm 19, I feel like I lost so much already because I didn't know who I was anymore. I thought that was going to be who I was. Everything was going to be tied to the Army and being a Ranger and all these great things. This is where it started. I broke up with a girl that I was with for 3 years. We always had issues, but we stayed pure. And then all of a sudden, a woman starts pursuing me. I fall into temptation. Just like that. I didn't have the values. I wasn't pursuing purity anymore. I didn't understand my identity as a son of the King. And because of that, I fell for temptation. I fell into something that was below me. That is not who I was. That is not who I'm supposed to be. I'm supposed to be a child of God and stay pure, just like my father. But because I didn't know my identity, because I wasn't pursuing any sort of purpose with God and I wasn't pursuing God, it was easy for me to get distracted and fall into the mess. Lust is more than just a sexual desire. It's a lack of knowing who you are, and specifically who you are in Christ. There was a study. In this study, there's two groups, Group A and B. Group A would say, I can't do that, trying to reject the substance, trying to break the habit, break the addiction. Group B says, I don't do that. And there's a very big difference between those two sentences. Group A saying they can't comes from bondage, chains, comes from pressure, from this kind of shame that comes over you. I can't. There's something holding me. I'm chained. I can't do it, right? There's a lot of weight on that. But when you say I don't, that comes from a place of identity. I don't do that. That's not who I am. I don't go into these places. I don't cheat on my spouse. I don't cheat on my meals if I'm training. There's no place where I do that. There's no scenario where I do that because that's not who I am. That's not in my character. So when you don't know who you are in Jesus, this will apply to more than just lust, but that is what we're talking about today. You will fall for anything. And after that, I was in another long-term relationship. When that ended, it was over. I went on a spree, running from girl to girl to girl, and I was in church, which made it worse. But I didn't understand what God was trying to do in me. He was trying to heal that boy whose mother didn't show him love and affection, whose father didn't teach him what a man should be, and teach him how to properly treat a woman, and teach him that they have value. But my father, I didn't have that example to know how to treat women correctly. When that lust came into my life, it knew exactly how to target. The enemy knew exactly how to target me, where I was weak. He knew that times were getting hard for me. I was in a weird season, a tough season. I lost my job or this, that, whatever. I wasn't making as much money as I used to. And the enemy comes in and says, I know exactly how you can feel powerful again. I know exactly how you can feel like you're in control again. I'm sure you could go get that girl and she'll comfort you. She'll feed your ego. She'll validate you. She's going to make you feel like you're the king of the world. And just because she can sit there and open up to you, you feel like you won. You feel like you're the man because you don't know who you are. Because if you knew Jesus and you knew your identity in him, you would know you're already a son of the Most High God. You're already favored and blessed. Royalty, part of his kingdom. And you wouldn't be pursuing these things that are below you. You would know who you are. And you would know, more importantly, that God has a good woman for you. He desires for you to have a whole family, a whole wife. He doesn't want you to be going from woman to woman to woman that have, one, nothing to offer you, and two, you are damaging someone else, making things worse. Tying into identity is purpose. If you don't know who you are, then you won't know where you're going. You need to have a strong connection with God, a clear direction of where you're going with God. One of the verses that really sticks with me a lot is, seek first the kingdom and his righteousness, and all will be added to you. I know some of us are worried about, I need a wife, I need a girlfriend, all these things. But if you seek first the kingdom, there's your purpose. Seek God first. Work hard in your job. Take care of the things you need to do. Eat good, train hard, all these things. You seek first the kingdom, because when you do that, everything else falls into place. A wife, a good wife, a woman of God will be added to you. All will be added to you. It's very clear, and it's a promise. If you do this, this will happen. That's a promise. God says it. You think God goes back on his word? So all of you that are stressing about, I need a wife, I need this, seek first the kingdom. Have your purpose and know exactly where you're going, and you'll be good. It's as simple as that. There's nothing else you really need to worry about. If you don't know where you're going, you're not pursuing it, what are you going to do? You're either going to sit there doing nothing, you're going to be idle. And that opens up room for the enemy to come in and attack you when you're weak. When you're sitting there doing nothing, your mind will wander. It'll go thinking about, oh, what about her? Oh, I remember her. Or I remember doing this, going out, going here, there, everywhere. Your mind doesn't like to sit still. It's going to run somewhere. And if you are not intentionally running towards God, you're going to run to sin. You're going to run to comfort. You're going to run to what was familiar in your past. There's been so many times in this season of my life. God has been teaching me to be so still and just understand that he is God. When you're still, you need to be focused on him. Be still and know that he is God. If you're doing that correctly, you'll be good. If you're sitting there being stagnant, not working out, not working hard at your job, not doing the right things, hanging out with good people, you're sitting idly by, nothing good will come from that. You need to be intentional with what you do. Intentional with your quiet time. Intentional in the moments where you need to be still. If you don't pursue things with intentionality, then the enemy is going to come to you. If you're not running towards God, the enemy is going to come after you when you're sitting there. You got to be a moving target. A moving target is harder to hit. If you don't have a structure, then temptation is going to fill the gap. Especially right now in this season of my life, every single time I've been going through something, or I lose something financially, or I even lost my son 2 weeks ago. And one of the first things that happens is, how can I distract myself? How can I soothe myself? How can I take my mind off of this and not feel the pain? I want to feel something else. I had to sit there with God. I had to say, God, I don't want to go back to my old ways. God, I want to do things different. God, I want to be pure. God, I know this really hard thing happened to me and I lost my son. But you need to hold on to Christ. And if it's hard for you to hold on to Christ, hold on to something. I could have held on to, I want to make my son proud. I want to be able to meet my son in heaven one day and say, hey, I stayed pure. I stayed pure, and I did it because I wanted to make something good come out of this. In my past, when I would have a hard time financially, something would come up, I would lose, something would happen, I would instantly run back to the dating apps, the women, the exes, whatever it was. And that never helped me. That never healed me. That never filled me. That never did it. Only God can do it. And you need to start running to Jesus. And in this season, I'm so grateful because I've been staying so pure. I'm so grateful. And it's really hard. Breaking the habits, breaking the cycles. But it has to be done, and you need to know who you are. The enemy will attack you with so many things. Lust, money, gluttony. I've been working on that too. The flesh is desperately wicked, evil. It's disgusting. You need to have it in control. It's not just sexual desire, but your appetite too. What you consume, not just food, but content as well. Can you go a day without even looking at social media? Lust is just a symptom of a deeper issue. Sexual temptation is just a symptom of a deeper issue. One of my mentors consistently says, you need to heal the deepest parts of you. And once that's sorted, everything else falls in. The reason why you're falling into temptation is because your mom didn't show you love, because your father didn't show you love, because that one ex broke your heart, because you don't love yourself, you don't value yourself, you don't see yourself as a child of God. And that's why you fall into temptation so much. You think that this woman is going to validate you. You think this woman is what decides if you're a man or not. How are you going to let a broken woman tell a broken man that you have value? That doesn't work. And the only way she shows you that you have value is by spreading her legs? How does that work? Because if she really understood you were valuable, she would make you wait. She would say, let's be intentional, let's get married, let's do the right thing, let's go to a mentor, let's go to therapy, let's do all the things the right way. They will never validate you. They will never make you feel like you are enough. It will never fill the void. It will never heal your heart. Only God can do that. You need to control your thinking. I ask God consistently to purify my mind and my heart, but to purify my mind a lot, because my mind wanders. I'm always thinking, I'm always going, but that can be a really bad thing. My mind going 1,000,000 miles an hour is not good. That's why in this season he's been working on me being still and knowing that he's God. Slow down, just relax. Your value doesn't come from how much you work, how well you think, and all these other things, materials. It doesn't matter. Just slow it down. Control your thoughts. Let God purify your mind. When you're road raging, when you want to say a snarky remark to somebody, control your thoughts. Everything flows from how you think. As a man thinketh, so shall be. Control your thoughts. It'll control your life. It's difficult and it takes time. It's not overnight. But you consistently ask God and he'll take care of you. What you're consuming will destroy your life, or it'll build it. You might think, oh, it's just Instagram. There's no pornography on there. It's not true. Because one thing leads to another. First, it's just that one girl you follow that sometimes she posts this, that, in a bikini, whatever, right? It's not bad. You know her. She's a good girl. She's not like that. But you're just manipulating yourself. You're trying to reason away your bad behavior and something that you know is wrong. You have to be really careful with who you associate with and who you follow. That one little bikini pic she posts, or something she posts on her story, oh, look at me at the gym. You know that's unnecessary. You know she doesn't have to show all that. You know she doesn't have to pose like that, but she does it anyway. You think her heart's pure? You think she's pursuing God? You think that's what a woman of God would do? You think that's what your wife would do? You need to think, if I'm married and my wife looks at my Instagram and she sees the people I follow, will she be okay with that? I don't think so. And I don't want to live like that. I don't want to deal with that. I'd rather look at my wife and say, baby, go through my social media. You won't find a single thing that offends you because I'm careful. I control what I consume, my thoughts, my mind, and nothing will lead me into temptation. If you need to stop looking at social media at a certain time of night, do that. If you need to lock it, limit it to 30 minutes, do that. You do what you need to do to control your mind, what you consume, your purity. Everything matters. You can't negotiate with sin. There is no, oh, I can look at this, it's okay, and you feel like you got a little dopamine fix, or oh, I just want to see what she looks like, and oh, I was just curious. You can't negotiate with sin at all. You cut it. If your left hand causes you to sin, you cut it. That's how serious you need to take this. That comes back to the social media. If Instagram is causing you to sin, it starts there. You see a couple girls and you're like, you know what? I'm going to switch over to Safari. You need to cut it. You need to unfollow those people or get off the app entirely. If you don't even have control of your Explore page or your For You page, You need to change things. You need to cut it. I reached a point a while ago, I was proud. I'm like, look how clean my For You page is. Look how clean my Explore page is. And I'd show my friends, and I would boldly go through my page, and you won't see a single woman on there. Not one. You're going to see fighting. You're going to see motorcycles. You're going to see gym. You're going to see the most masculine stuff. You're going to see faith. That's all you're going to see on my page. And I was so happy that I reached that point of purity, that I control my content, my consumption so much that I can boldly show my screen to anybody. I don't need to hide away or tuck away or anything scared what's going to pop up. I don't need to do that. I'm grateful for that. And that ties into being a man above reproach. Living so pure that nobody can even come at you with anything, because there's nothing. You don't have any receipts. There's nothing there. I've been living pure in every aspect. The most important thing you should take away from this: seek God. He is the only thing that can help you beat this. The only thing. You cannot do this on your own power. When you pursue God purely, entirely, He'll heal those things in your heart that cause you to go back to that sin. He'll heal that little boy that was abused, that was hurt, that was neglected, that was abandoned. He'll heal you so much to the point where I'm good. I don't need that temporary satisfaction. I don't need it. I have everything I need in Christ Jesus. He took care of me. That's all I need. I don't need the validation. I got it from God. I don't need that comfort. God gives me peace. And you know what? He's going to give me something better too. He's going to give me a woman of God. Then we can go crazy. Get married. That's the point. If you burn with passion, get married and go have fun. Right? It's better to do things in marriage, do things with God, than doing it outside of God. Nothing good comes from outside of God. Nothing. Every good thing comes from God. I'll get into the scientific aspect of it too, right? Outside of the spirit. The more you watch pornography, the more it kills your dopamine receptors, the more it kills your body in general. The more it kills your testosterone. The more it kills all these things in your body that you need to be extremely healthy, active, strong, muscle building, muscle recovery, athleticism, everything. It kills it. Why do you think fighters don't do anything for weeks before their fight? You need to stay whole. If you want to be at your peak physically, and tying this into the whole lust aspect, you need to retain your life. You know exactly what I mean. I'm not sure exactly how much I could say on YouTube here, but you need to retain your life force, and you need to have an empty stomach. You need to be fasting, and you need to be retaining. When you do these two things, your testosterone will skyrocket. Your hormones will be aligned, and they'll be in a surplus. Everything will be going good. Your growth hormone increases crazy amounts. You'll be able to kill cancer cells in your body. You'll be able to recover and think more clearly. Every single aspect of your body improves greatly when you fast and you retain. So don't be just throwing out your life force for any reason. It doesn't matter. You should be doing it with someone that you're married to. Then there's other spiritual benefits to that. And having a family. It's a beautiful thing, which will make you want to work harder, make you want to be a better man. There's a bunch of beautiful things to that. But as a single man, retain and keep an empty stomach, fast as much as you can, and always retain until you're married. You know, being a lustful man is also just embarrassing. I have friends, loose term, right? I have associates, and all they talk about is women. 24/7. Oh, she's bad. Oh, she's fine. Oh, I want that. Bro, do something with your life. Get a life. It's like, what are you doing? Your entire world, your entire life is women. That's such a waste. You have so much more potential in that. We have things to do, things to get done, people to save, people to serve. Why are you so caught up in that? It's embarrassing and it's shameful. I feel bad for those men that have nothing more to life than just women. That's pretty depressing. There's so much more to life than just women. And that's no offense to women. Women are great. God's gift, our missing rib. We need women. Different topic. But your purpose is God and what He gave you, not a woman. She's meant to help what you're already building. That's the whole purpose. She's a helper. So why are you making her an idol when she's meant to help you pursue something greater, which is God? How can you live like that? You don't want to be that guy. You don't. You want to be the man that's disciplined, can retain, is pursuing God with a purpose, knows who he is, treats women with value and respect. That's the kind of man you want to be. And that's what we are. A sainted savage. We're pure, we're righteous, we work hard, we do things the right way. That's who we are. Nothing else. Men of God. That should be your number one priority, not women. When you align with God and everything falls into place, it becomes so much easier. You can't do this on your own. You can only do it with God. And that's all I got to say. Love y'all. Be good. God bless you.